Warning, sows, this type is piping hot. The information provided on this channel is for general informational and educational purposes only. What's the thesis with Nisi and Puka? Us no responsibility for any errors or omissions in the content. Any facts that we speak are alleged. Any reliance you place on this information is strictly at your own risk.
Copyright disclaimer. Under section of the Copyright Act 977 use says a criticism by personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Grab your teeth out, it could get messy.
All right. Hello, everybody who is in the chat. If y'all could possibly let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Puka is on her way to join. But I just want to make sure everyone can hear. And I wanted to get on a few minutes early. That way we can give y'all some time to come in the room and warm up before we get started on the topic today. So yeah, I'm gonna give y'all a few minutes to come in, give Puka some time to join as well, and we will get started. Hello, everybody. If y'all can hear me, make sure that y'all drop it in the comments that the sound's working okay. We're waiting for Puka to join, or get some more people in here, get it warmed up. And then we'll go from there. And then I guess for now, since we're waiting, okay, period. Let me put up the disclosure really quick. And we'll just, there goes my sister.
Hello.
Okay, let me make sure I can hear you though, because my sound's down.
I
I can hear you. There you go. Okay.
Headphones in, or you can hear me good?
Say it one more time.
You want me to put my headphones in, or you can hear me good?
I can hear you good. It sounds like there might be a little bit of back feed, but not too much. Let's see what everybody's hearing in the comments. Do y'all hear major back feed? Do we need to put our headphones in, or is it good? Let me get back over here because I was just going to put the disclaimer up while we're waiting. That way y'all can see.
Josie over there, baby. That was eating them down, baby.
Oh, please.
They were eating them down. I said, oh, Lord.
Okay, so y'all, I'm just going to leave the disclaimer up for a second. That way everybody can see it and y'all kind of know what we got going, because sis over here said we need to make sure, or I need to, because she's going to remember, I'm not, that I use the right words and I drop my right disclaimers. So seeing as how y'all are used to Nisi being on more of the messy side of social media, it's a little bit of an adjustment coming over to the true crime side. So if I don't say allegedly, my sister already knows. she already knows. She's going to have to cue the allegedly, because, honey, I ain't finna say it 10,000 times. And I want to make sure y'all can see the disclaimer. Okay, let me see.
Nancy.
Yeah.
You can hear me good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you great.
Okay, period. Perfect. And it's quiet in my house, y'all. Look how lucky we are. It's quiet today. Okay, well, it's officially 4 p.m., so I'm going to go ahead and get into the topic. For those of y'all who are going to be catching us on the replay, make sure that y'all hashtag replay in the comments. Give us a thumbs up if y'all can. If y'all feel like this was some good content, share it out. And feel free to engage. Like, if y'all want to get in the comments and engage in a little bit, y'all can go ahead and do that too. Because, sister, if you want to, you can always tell me to pause the videos as well. That way we can kind of have a little bit of commentary, but I'm going to try to like keep it real short and sweet in the beginning, kind of giving y'all a little bit of an understanding of who we're going to be talking about today. Okay. Today we're going to do a case on Abigail Saldana. She was I'm going to just keep it cute and say that she was a dancer, because I don't know what words I can and cannot use on YouTube. I haven't really looked into it. But she was a dancer. who ended up running into a situation in which she was not only dancing, she was meeting with a particular, allegedly meeting with a particular customer outside of just dancing. And unfortunately, that customer became overly obsessed, possessive, ended up placing a tracking device on her car. And not too long after that incident, she was allegedly found to be unalived by this customer. So I'm gonna jump into a little bit of the juicy facts from that. I have a couple videos that I would like to share with you guys. Again, as to why I'm dropping my disclaimer, that way everyone knows we are under the Fair Use Act. But yeah, and Puka, what piece did you have? Do you want to share your piece first or after the videos?
We can just go in between videos. Or
Okay,
yeah, once we do the intro, then I can go ahead and just say my little stuff. That way
you want me to
just go
drop
the
our
video.
intro video again? Because our intro video literally started at the start.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then.
Yeah, I
Well,
have
I'll
it
go.
set up on here. Yeah, I have it set up for our intro and our outro.
Okay. So this is just to let everybody know that these statistics are not all the way together because there's not enough information that's in the database to give you a 100% estimate on it. So it says that the U.S. Department of State estimates between 15,000 to 50,000 women and girls are trafficked into the United States each year, and you can get that from Wikipedia. They're saying there isn't an exact amount of missing individuals tied to prostitution or escorting or whatever you might want to call it. The data collection is inconsistent across major databases, such as the FBI's National Crime Information Center. With this new FBI tied to the administration that's going on, it's kind of hard to get an exact number. And it says the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children. If a minor is involved, contact NCMEC or by chat cyber tip line. So you can report anybody by the cyber tip line, or you could call 1-800-843-5678. And the hotline, another hotline that you can call for national human trafficking is 1-888-373-7888. And that's for any information. If you know anybody, then you can go ahead and send them those numbers if they need it. And you can go ahead and see.
Okay, period. Hey, ladies in the chat. Hey, Connie. Hey, Glam Glam. Hey, Messy.
Welcome in,
Hey,
ladies.
Lumby. Hey, everybody. Hey, Lakita. I see you as well. Welcome in. Welcome in. Now, y'all know I am not Connie. I'm going to just put the emphasis on that. I am not the true crime queen, okay? But I'm going to do the best that I can to share these videos and try to have some open commentary with you guys as well during it. And hopefully, sis, just stop me in between. Like if there's a part where we should stop, just let me know and I'll pause it.
Okay.
But initially, I'm going to start with just the news report that was posted, guys. Let me get my screen ready here because y'all know I gotta press all my little buttons. Hold on. I'm going to mute for a second, chat.
Hi, everybody coming in. Hey, Glam. Hey, Connie. Hey, Missy. Hey, Sheena. Hey, Silver. Hey, y'all. Hey. Hey, Lakita. Hey, Couch Potato. Hey, Crystal. Oh, it's Christella. Hey, Christella. Is that who's it? I think it is. Hey, girl. Hey. Anyway. Hey, Tiffany. Before we started, hey, Shonda girl. You made it, girl. Hey, girl. Hey. There's another one little thing. It says independent workers. It says the Center of Disease Control and Preventative, the CDC, recommends that individuals with multiple partners get tested for STIs and HIV every 3 to 6 months. It says many sex workers adhere to this timeline, opted for frequent preventative screens to seek help, it's important to always protect yourself in the best way you can. And please don't be your own doctor and don't go on Wikipedia, or not Wikipedia, but just don't use Google or AI. Please seek medical professional help, you know. Go to a doctor, or if you guys have like a Planned Parenthood and you know somebody that needs to go ahead. They're pretty good at being anonymous. It's storming. I hope you guys got some canned goods and some water. Put some sandbags down by your doors if it's storming and take cover. You got lost dealing with Glee. I was over there too. Niecy had to be like, hey girl, hey, come back over. Niecy, tell me when you're ready. Yeah, I was in the bushes, y'all. I was watching Glam. I was just getting ready, but I was in the bushes. I was like, ooh, let's get spicy over here. Y'all got Glam being mad. Yeah, Bridget, I hope you guys' power comes back too. It's been like that for a few weeks. Man, I hope you guys are, stocked up on food and have candles. Um, if I was you, I would create a go binder. So a go binder is where you put like a little, like a school binder, and then they have those sleeves, those plastic sleeves. You can put those plastic sleeves. Make sure you put all your personal information in there. So in case of an emergency, like the flooding and stuff like that, you need to leave your house. You can hurry up and take your go binder, put it in your purse, and then that way all your personal documents, Social Security, birth certificates, IDs, shot records, all those will be in your go binder. And that way you could just put it in a backpack or a purse and go. Especially if you live in a place where there's like national disasters and stuff like that. Where needs to go? She let me up here by myself, girl. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, I need to make my mom one. Because I got mines. I got mines in the closet. That thing ready to go. It's right next to our emergency go bags. You see? Sorry, y'all. This is our first live. Give us a minute, but I'll go ahead and talk with y'all in the comments. I hope you guys been having a wonderful day and staying hydrated. How's everybody's day going? I seen a little bit of the tea. It was juicy over there. It was real juicy over there.
Okay, is it working now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, because it just had, this is why I don't like StreamYard, because it's already starting to freeze and glitch. And okay, y'all, so just bear with me because we're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but I'm going to go ahead and set up the video, and I'm just going to press play because I don't want my background audio playing while the video's playing. So I'm just going to go ahead and pause it. And like I said, I'm going to start with the news article first, and then we'll go from there.
Sounds good. One minute. Jamie is that one girl that okay. Jamie, Onyx, Jamie. Oh.
Police confirmed they're investigating a report of a tracking device on her car her family says she found prior to the attack. Fox 4's Macy Jenkins is in Fort Worth with more on this murder investigation. Macy?
Well, the 22-year-old was killed just a few weeks after she had told her mother that she found this tracking device underneath her car and told her mother that she thought she was being followed. Now, police made an arrest today, but it's unclear whether or not he knew Abigail Saldana.
She was a bright, beautiful person, and he
One moment, y'all. Please hold.
took that all away from me.
22-year-old Abigail Saldana was found dead inside of her car on Tuesday night, which had crashed into a sign on Amon Carter Boulevard at Highway 183. Fort Worth police were called about the accident just after 8:30 p.m. Saldana had multiple gunshot wounds.
She was
Found dead inside of her car on Tuesday night, which had crashed into a sign on Amon Carter Boulevard at Highway 183. Fort Worth police were called about the accident just after 8:30 p.m. Saldana had multiple gunshot wounds.
she was perceived a shot wound in the arm and the back.
Saldana's death comes just weeks after her mother, Jessica Contreras, says the 22-year-old posted a video on Instagram about a tracking device she found underneath her car.
I had told her to go to the police and report it. I believe that she did report that.
Fort Worth police confirm the reported tracking device is part of the investigation. And they arrested 54-year-old Stanley Frank Zaliga on Thursday and charged him with her murder.
I don't know the connection between those two. But apparently he had been following her.
Contreras says at some point, Saldana had taken photos of Zaliga's vehicle and sent them to a friend after she found the tracking device. Records show Zaliga has a recent address
Sis, can you hear me? Nisi, can you hear me? Okay, she dropped for a little bit because I have a few questions. I don't know if you guys have questions. You can put questions in the comments when Nisi comes back because Nisi knows who this young lady was. Um, so I wanted to know, was the guy who they said was arrested, was he following her and at the time of the accident? And is everyone like at the time of the accident? And the next question was, did he pew pew her while she was driving and that made her crash? So because it was kind of freezing a little bit, so I wanted to see if, those are the questions I have so far. Because it did say she had a tracking device in her car and it said she crashed. But I want to know if she crashed from the pew pew or she crashed first and then was pew pew, like ran off the road. If that makes sense. Right, right. That's what I was getting. Nisi?
Okay, sorry. It was my internet because the video kept lagging. Oh, it was terrible. Let me see. Y'all let me know if I try it again now that I'm connected to like my main source, if that works, because I don't want it to be like super choppy.
Okay. While you're connecting that, can you answer this question for me? Did they say that she was pew pewed while she was driving, which caused the crash, or she crashed first,
Yes.
then the pew pew?
Yeah, no, I believe she was pew pew during the process of driving.
Okay.
Remember I told you from details that I was given because I do know the family involved. It was kind of like a pull up type. Like he pulled up
Okay.
on her while she was actively in traffic, basically.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, let me see if we can pull it again without the issues. If not, next time I'm gonna have to see how to stream from another, like stream it and share from like two
From another
different
device. Yeah.
devices. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Let me see if I can pull it. I'm trying to keep myself mute because I don't want my background to be loud.
How old was she?
They said 22. I'm gonna see if I restart it, like refresh it. That way y'all can actually hear it.
Hi, Original Phoenix. Welcome in. That's so sad. And if you guys have any questions for Nisi, just go ahead and drop them in the comments. I'll keep up with them. That way, in between, she can answer the questions for us.
Let's see if it'll restart it.
Hey, Cupcake Breezy. And for those who are coming in, Nisi's sharing a true crime case of Abigail Saldana. And she's just going to go over a few videos of what happened to the young lady. And this is somebody she like knows personally.
Can you hear me, sister?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm about to try to see how I can work the screen sharing from the other device thing and see if that works because
Okay.
I keep having glitches trying to do it from the same device. So let me see if I switch.
Y'all, I don't know nothing about no StreamYard, so bear with us. I'm the old one here. Connie said, "Can you plug it into the Ethernet in?"
Ethernet. like
The cord that
directly
goes
into
from the
the
back to
box.
the, yeah,
I don't even know
it
if I
goes,
still have that cord or not.
yeah, it goes to your laptop to the back of the internet box.
Yeah, but even if I did that, my internet box is in the living room.
Oh, the baby's in there.
Yeah, it's not where I'm at. Let me see if I can it said it works better if I do it from another device. So let me see if I can hook it up. Thank y'all for being so patient because I really don't know how to. It used to work so good, and it's like now StreamYard is garbage. It used to work so good. Let me see if I can. Let's see if I can do it to the other device. See if that works. Share
Because you
screen.
know you're up here twice, right?
Yes, I did it on
Okay.
purpose.
Okay.
Where's best? Okay, well, I'm on a laptop and it's still not working. Some screens let you. Okay, let me look at that. She said, you know, you're up here twice. Yeah, I know. Yes,
Streaming
ma'am.
garbage lately too. Just,
The screen during a
you
live
know,
stream or
I was
recording.
looking into a different one that's good for like mobile phones and mobile devices, but it had a lot of steps. We probably would have been on until next month if it took me to figure that out because it took a lot of steps.
I wonder how I can do it. Can I do it from here?
She said that she's in the her box is in the living room and that's where one of the babies are. So she's in her room.
Where does it even show me that option? It says layouts, recordings, guest. Okay, let me try one more time. If not, I might have to move some stuff around. But even then, I really don't know if I still have that cord because you know the internet people, they come out, they get to touching stuff, and they want to take a cord or two with them.
I
So
hate when
I
they
could
do
have
that. It's like,
swore
why
he
is you
took
taking
my
that cord,
cord.
sir?
That's why I was
Knowing
like,
I might need that cord. Why would you take that cord, sir?
that's why I'm like,
But
I think he
I
took
do
my
have some more
stuff.
facts for you guys. So if you have multiple partners, the most effective way to protect yourself with multiple partners is combining barrier methods, preventative medications, and routine medical screenings. No single method is entirely foolproof. So using a layered approach provides the highest level of safety against sexual transmitted infections and unplanned pregnancies. Also, ask a medical professional what is best for you. And please don't use the internet to diagnose yourself because the internet sometimes it ends with the loss of life. So we don't want that. So we just want you guys to be protected, be safe. And it's also a good time to talk to your children about these things because they're starting to be sexually active at a younger and younger age. So I did get an update at my school that the sixth grade class, which my son's 11, he's going into sixth grade. They're going to be talking about this stuff. Yeah, no, don't layer condoms.
Oh my
I
God.
forgot I gotta tell people that. Girl, I
That's
would look
funny.
at you like, is you putting on two condoms? Girl, run out the room. Ain't no way. There ain't no way. Shoot. I mean like medicine and condoms and they have that it's called prim. They have or prep. You just look it up. It's not just for, people that are gay, bisexual, lesbian, it's for everybody. Yeah. So yes, the internet.
Y'all are
Thank
hilarious.
you, Connie. Thank you, Connie, because
I'm gonna try to put
prep.
it up
Yep.
here again. Let me see if I can get it to go.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Connie, because
If
people don't
not, I
be.
might just have to play it from the laptop and just put my phone in position to like still show it, but from my other device.
Oh yeah, like hold it.
Yeah.
It's
Ghetto
called
style.
prep, Connie. Okay. Yeah, no, I've been seeing the commercials for that a lot lately.
Okay. How do I know if it actually went on there or not? Oh,
There you
there it
go.
goes. Okay. It took a second. Let's see if it works. Let's see. Thank you so much, Connie, because Lord knows this is a learning process.
Hello and good evening, everybody. I'm Steve Eager. Abigail Saldana was found shot to death in her car after it crashed into a sign on Amon Carter Boulevard at Highway 183. Police confirmed they're investigating a report of a tracking device on her car her family says she found prior to the attack. Fox 4's Macy Jenkins is in Fort Worth with more on this murder investigation. Macy?
Well, the 22-year-old was killed just a few weeks after she had told her mother that she found this tracking device underneath her car and told her mother that she thought she was being followed. Now, police made an arrest today, but it's unclear whether or not he knew Abigail Saldana.
She was a bright, beautiful person, and he took that all away from me.
22-year-old Abigail Saldana was found dead inside of her car on Tuesday night, which had crashed into a sign on Amon Carter Boulevard at Highway 183. Fort Worth police were called about the accident just after 8:30 p.m. Saldana had multiple gunshot wounds.
She was perceived as shot wound in the arm and the back.
Saldana's death comes just weeks after her mother, Jessica Contreras, says the 22-year-old posted a video on Instagram about a tracking device she found underneath her car.
I had told her to go to the police and report it. I believe that she did report that.
Fort Worth police confirm the reported tracking device is part of the investigation, and they arrested 54-year-old Stanley Frank Zaliga on Thursday and charged him with her murder.
I don't know the connection between those two, but apparently he had been following her.
Contreras says at some point Saldana had taken photos of Zaliga's vehicle and sent them to a friend after she found the tracking device. Records show Zaliga has a recent address living in Irving and a prior criminal history in California that includes domestic violence. His mugshot. Originally from Wichita Falls, the single mother of a 5-year-old boy moved to Dallas about 2 years ago. She worked 2 jobs, one styling eyebrows and one at a bar. Her mother says at least one of those jobs was somewhere in Fort Worth.
Abby was the middle child. She was my only girl.
Contreras told Fox 4 Saldana had recently paid off her car and was just happy to be able to financially support her son.
He took away a mother, a daughter, beautiful, strong, bright person, and there will be justice. On that. I won't stop. I'll see him in court.
Now, Zaliga is being held on a $250,000 bond. Fort Worth police are asking anyone who may have any information or have been in the area near 183 and Amon Carter Boulevard on Tuesday night around 8 o'clock to reach out to them and let them know.
Okay, so we still had a little bit of lagging. I think I might set it up because there was still a little bit of lagging, and I don't really
that's so
want
sad.
the lag.
That's so sad that poor baby lost her life like that.
But I do want to include, because as we see in Mom's statement, she is very clear that she wasn't fully aware of the relationship they had or how they even knew each other. And from the overall job descriptions that she had given, allegedly, I'm going to assume that Mom wasn't 100% sure of what all her daughter was actually involved in, just based off of her answers as to what she was doing for work and her not being fully informed of how she even knew the guy. Which 9 times out of 10, for young ladies that are in that lifestyle, who really is going to tell their mom at 22 years old, like, hey, mom, this is what I'm doing? You know, like, nobody wants to tell their mom that.
Right. I mean, I didn't start telling my mom about what I was doing in the streets until I was like 30. I'm 40 now. So just imagine if I had, because I have both parents in the household. So if I felt comfortable enough to talk to my mom, I think I probably would have shared a little bit more. But my parents were really, really strict. So I used to like to hide a lot of stuff. So I feel like that's something that we as parents now, we need to talk to our children more, and especially our young adults, because now that they're going into this world, if we coddled our children, you know, what's to say that they're going to do something that can end their life and we won't even know what they were involved in. Messy says, are they charging him with red rum? Because he has a $250,000 bond. Usually it's 1 million. So they haven't fully went to court, is what Nisi told me. So
I have
think
not found any follow-ups yet online about whether this has been taken to trial, what kind of like court situation he's having. I cannot find any of that information yet. So I'm assuming that as of now, nothing has been, there's not been a final call yet.
Okay, so it's still like an ongoing investigation.
I believe so. Now in his interrogation film, which I considered sharing, but then I was like, no, because it was too much like talking. And honestly, the interrogator was like getting on my nerves a little bit. In his interrogation, yes, he does end up admitting in there that he did allegedly commit said crimes. But yes, as far as I know, as of now, there's been no further information shown as far as like court hearings and stuff. Now I'm going to try to do the other video that I've pulled, and hopefully that'll play good. But if it doesn't, because it is longer, I'm just going to set it up. So y'all just let me know. As soon as y'all notice skipping, if it's doing too much, tell me. I'll stop it and just switch it over to my other device.
Okay. Yeah, because I did look online and it says for prostitution, penalties vary across states. I wonder if that goes hand in hand with the pimping and pandering charges, or it's like stalking and stuff like that. So that does sound crazy for like $250, $250,000 for a bond. You would think it would be more. So Nancy, do you know if she was just dancing or she was bartending?
No, she was actually a dancer. That's how she was come across by this man. She was for sure a dancer.
Okay, so he was a clientele in the strip club.
Yeah, I'm like, there's a possibility that she could have started out as a bartender. But as far as I know, she was absolutely a dancer.
Okay.
Sorry, y'all. I didn't want to make y'all listen to that ad. I'm about to mute myself again.
Hey, May. Welcome in, love.
Saldana was found shot to death in her car after it crashed into a sign on Amon Carter Boulevard at Highway 183.
Well, the 22-year-old was killed just a few weeks after she had told her mother that she found this tracking device underneath her car, and told her mother that she thought she was being followed.
He took away a mother. She was a bright, beautiful person. He took that all away from me.
Today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Now, look, the truth of the matter is we spend so much time trying to push through things, telling ourselves that we'll deal with it later, or it's not a big enough deal that we need to really address it or address it right then. But then the truth of the matter is those small moments, they add up. And sometimes
Can you
having
skip her,
the space
her
to
ad,
actually
because we're not
process
getting paid
them
for that ad.
make all the difference. And that's where BetterHelp comes in. BetterHelp makes starting therapy time, no headache. And I've been talking true crime cases with you guys now for, gosh, what is it, about 6 years. And for those of you who've been with me for a while, you know that we talk about some of the darkest cases out there. And not just dark cases, but ones that also are educational, that help us identify red flags, advocate for ourselves, what to maybe look for in a partner, or if something's happening at a school and warning signs that we should be on alert for. Just a lot of different takeaways from these horrible experiences that unfortunately way too many people have gone through. And one of those key focuses that I really want to highlight is when it comes to domestic disputes, stalking, and toxic relationships. Now, this is something that has obviously been a struggle and a problem since like the dawn of time. However, there has been a significant uptick in stalking and just toxic behavior and scary predators who feel they're entitled to people, all sorts of things over the last several years. We have seen it in different cases. We've seen it manifest through tracking people, controlling who they speak to, who they hang out with, what they wear, all sorts of different things. And unfortunately, in a lot of these situations, it's too late by the time it's realized how dangerous this situation really is. And I get case requests from you guys all the time of different situations happening in your hometown or viral cases and all these things. And there are so many cases that boil down to this, to a bad relationship, someone trying to get out of the relationship, being stalked, they refuse to let go. Such awful, scary situations. And because there's been such an uptick, I really wanted to take the opportunity to revisit one of these cases today with you. It's one that has stuck with me for years. I first covered it when I was a baby channel, when not many of you guys were really watching at that point. And so now that I do have a bigger platform, I think it's worth revisiting because this is such not only a horrible case, but it's one that is educational. It's one that I think a lot of us can learn from because either we've found ourselves in this type of situation or relationship, or we unfortunately know someone who is experiencing a similar situation. And I've said this before, but the root goal in all of these episodes is always to have you take away something, to have a little sliver of knowledge, or, you know what? I never thought of things that way. That is a red flag. I will look for that, because the more that we can prepare ourselves and educate ourselves to help hopefully deter us from becoming a future victim of sorts, I think that that is incredibly important. While, of course, also platforming the victims, allowing their voice to carry on and their story to be heard and told. So I want to revisit a case today of a young woman named Abigail. It's a case that has stuck with me for years. And I'm hopeful, again, that now with a larger platform, it will hopefully help or at least provide some sort of education with all of you guys. And not many of you have heard of this case or seen this case. So I thought that this would be the perfect opportunity to share this with you. So with that, you know what to do. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm Annie Elise, and let's jump right in.
If you got hit, even if you were not driving,
On October 26, 2021, police received a 911 call around 8:40 p.m. And this call was from a witness who reportedly had seen a silver sedan speeding down the road before carrying off an exit ramp off of a freeway and then landing into a grassy area near Highway 183 near the Dallas-Fort Worth airport. The person who made this 911 call approached the car to check and see if they were okay, and upon doing so, they noticed bullet holes in the glass and a very young woman behind the wheel who apparently was unresponsive. Authorities were, of course, immediately dispatched to the scene on this highway, and upon arrival, they noticed and discovered the bullet casings, the broken glass near an intersection, and they began to piece together what they believe happened at an intersection before getting onto the freeway, and they think that the driver had been shot. But who would want to shoot this young woman? Who would be shooting her in the back? And if they did shoot her in the back, was it because she was trying to escape and speed away from them, and so they shot her in the back? Could it have been road rage? Or was this something much more sinister and much more personal? Well, police would soon learn that there was a lot more to this story than they initially thought. Abigail Saldana is 22 years old and lives in Texas. She has a 5-year-old son, and she apparently works 2 jobs. Abigail was absolutely gorgeous. She goes by the name of Abby, and she is just an absolute beauty. One job that she held was an esthetician, and she would do eyebrows, and then the other job that she had was as a bartender. However, Abby was a hustler, and she had a 3rd job, one that nobody knew about, and one that unfortunately introduced her to a lot of questionable people. In early October 2021, Abby had confided in her mom about feeling like she needed to go to the police. You need to report this. However, it's unclear if Abby ever did so. And on October 14th, Abby made a pretty alarming Instagram post. She made an Instagram post that read, "This is no joke, and sometimes you think it will never be you." And this was after she reportedly discovered a tracking device that had been stuck underneath her vehicle.
But this was literally on my car like this. This is why you have to be careful. I don't really know what to do moving forward with this, but this definitely looks like a tracker to me. All right. So this is so crazy, you guys. So crazy. Like, who would do this? It says sell.
So you can hear in the video, she's saying, "What? This is literally on my car right now. This looks like a tracking device. Guys, this is so crazy. What's going on?" And I can't even imagine what that would be like. If you go out to your car, whether it's in your driveway, the street, a carport, and you notice that there is a tracking device on it, how scary would that be? Knowing that somebody has intentionally tried to monitor your movements, and you don't know who it is, you don't know where they are, you don't know if they are watching you in that moment, catch them or catch the tracking device. I can't imagine the amount of just, that unsettled feeling that you would feel discovering this. The intention of Abby's post was really to warn other people to check under their cars, saying, if it could happen to me, it could happen to you. Be careful, go check. But who was this person who placed this device underneath her car? Who was stalking this 22-year-old young mother? To Abby's mom's knowledge, she believed that the man who was stalking Abby was a customer from the bar that she bartended at. But that was far from it. And who this person was and what their relationship was actually ran much, much deeper. During the investigation, immediately upon discovering Abby's body at that car wreck, at that scene where she had been brutally gunned down, the police started doing some digging, and they started looking inside her vehicle. And quickly, they discovered what appeared to look like clothing that belonged to an exotic dancer. They also discovered a passport in the vehicle that identified Abby and belonged to her. Now, very close to where this wreck and shooting took place was a location called Rick's Cabaret. And Rick's Cabaret was your, local dance strip joint. So they see these clothes in the car. They know that Rick's is down the road. The police decide, hey, we're going to go to Rick's. We're going to ask some questions and we're going to investigate. Investigators decided to go speak with the manager at Rick's to see if he might have any information. He immediately knew who Abby was, and he confirmed these officers' suspicion that Abby was indeed working for Rick's. But he says that Abby wasn't there that night. She hadn't been there all day. And this was that 3rd job that Abby had that nobody seemed to know about. The manager also disclosed some information about a customer of theirs, one that took quite a liking to Abby. Now, he is apparently an ex-military veteran, and he goes by the name of Stan. Dan apparently had been a client of Abby's for quite some time, and the manager told police that Abby was now frightened of Stan because he was stalking and harassing her. He showed police Abby's Instagram post about the tracker that had been found on her car just a couple of days earlier, and the manager also shows police Stan's Instagram. And Stan's Instagram was filled with posts about Abby, including several posts where he appeared to be irritated by her and where he was actually threatening to report her for selling herself. I don't think I can use that word on here. But you get where I'm going. His feed was absolutely littered with posts of him blackmailing Abby and threatening to report her for, again, selling herself. In one rambling post on October 17th, Stan says that he had believed he had a future with Abby and that they had been enjoying each other's company for the last 3 months. But he claimed that he was taken advantage of, and he alleged that he had paid her thousands of dollars. And here I quote, "I never thought I'd be one of those guys taken advantage of. Sharing for awareness. Abigail S. and I, since July 2021, we have been enjoying each other's company. She's so beautiful and personable that I envisioned a future with her. But dealing with all the lies is overwhelming. I realize that's part of your primary job as an adult entertainer. If you only leave your second job being in a high-end blank ring, we could move forward. Yes, this pays $2,000 per session, but it's illegal. And having a boyfriend whilst having sex with other men with a question mark." Now, this post to me not only.
Now, I want to pause really quick for some commentary on that. Because I feel like we've unloaded a little bit since we've started this video here. And yes, they actually, in the interrogation, it does go a little bit more into showing those actual text messages between the two. But this little second arrangement that they had going went on for a little while before he ended up taking action or taking actions into his own hands when it came to Abby. So just giving y'all a little bit of clarification. Sister, did you want to say something?
Yeah, so what she was just reading, was that a social media post that he posted about their
Yes,
relationship?
that was from him. Yes.
Okay, so that's like another part of his confession.
Yes. And I do believe there is actually a post that he made admitting that he was going to.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
it had made him so upset to the point where he was going to unalive her.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's crazy. And ladies, let's start checking under our cars, because people putting trackers or people putting stuff on the ground for you to disguise so you can pick it up or touch it. If it's not how you left it and something's there, let someone know, because you never want to accidentally touch something and boom, you knocked out. Somebody can grab you. Or
Because
if
sister, since you just touched on that, sister, they were talking about money recently. We heard something about people, what was it, dropping money,
yes,
hundreds of dollars, hundreds on the ground, knowing
yes,
that
and it
they
has some type of
were
chemical on it that
that.
will.
Yeah, and they're putting a little funny stuff on the bills so that way people are, fainting or whatever based off of whatever they're lacing on the money. So yeah, everybody just be careful. Make sure we're being safe at all times, ladies. I'm going to go
And
ahead.
put protection in your purse. I got some of everything. I got something I can swing. I got something I can hide. You know what I'm saying? I got some pew pew. I got some of everything in my purse and my car. So just make sure you be careful and take care of yourself, because a lot of people are coming up missing. There's a lot of girls coming up missing, and it doesn't seem like anybody's doing anything to prevent any of these things. And Messy, you said sounds like she was possibly giving him false hope.
And
So
you're not incorrect. I'm going to agree with you. Allegedly,
but
there
isn't
was a
that what
conversation
ladies of the
for
night,
sure.
isn't that what they do, ladies of the night,
Yes,
is to sell you a fantasy?
they do. And that's all a part of it. I think the misunderstanding, and I just want to make this clear before I restart the video, because I myself was in the line of work in which I was an ex-worker, right? And I think that people completely misunderstand it. Yes, we are selling you 100% selling you that fantasy. Um, but we need to hold these men or these potential customers, because they may not always be men, right? Accountable as well, because you are aware of what type of arrangement you're getting yourself in once you start it, just as well as that woman is. So I believe in this situation, it definitely is wrong on both sides, because as us going into this lifestyle, we're not going into this lifestyle expecting these men or these customers to get inappropriately attached to us. We're going into this lifestyle with the understanding of one thing and one thing only. We have an agreement. We've got an exchange to get done, and that's it.
Yeah, and
So
at the same time, some people don't know how to separate the two.
Yeah.
especially some of these men who are incels. They don't understand right from wrong sometimes when it comes to that situation, especially them going into these clubs. You're showing them so much, attention, because now you're showering them with affection and attention that they're probably not getting at home or never had at all. So it's easier for these men to get attacked like this, especially you don't even know where their mental frame is coming from.
Seems as though he's kind of trying to like blackmail her, but he's also trying to put her on blast and trying to shame her, trying to say, I get you make X amount of money, but you're having sex with me, who's your boyfriend, with these other people, and I get it's your job, and all this stuff. It seems like he's trying to shame her publicly, shame her personally, so she sees this and like feels badly about herself. Also kind of trying to intimidate her, putting it out there for the public, which we know that nobody knew about this job that she held, really. And it just looks to me like he's slowly kind of starting to unravel a bit. Stan then claimed that the payments he had allegedly sent to Abby and to the strip club were for sex. And he says all the payments to Abigail and RCI were for sex-related activities. See below. And he puts all of these screenshots online, guys, and he just urges other men, saying, be cognizant with these clubs, and warned about damage to their bank accounts and all of these things, which we're going to get into that in a little bit here. But he is putting all of this on public social media, which on one hand, I get it if you're upset and you're trying to humiliate somebody who you feel like potentially had used you or was only after your money. But at the same time, like, at what point are you kind of humiliating yourself, bro? You're kind of outing yourself that you're paying for sex, that you thought that this young, hot girl was interested in you, and you're now realizing she's not, and you're pissed off about it. Like, it's not as embarrassing for her. It's kind of embarrassing for you. But that's just my opinion. What do you guys think? So then Stan shares a screenshot claiming to show payments from his account to both Abby and RCI, the parent company of Rick's Cabaret. And these included alleged payments of $200, $800, and $1,000 to Abby, and then other payments made of $5,000, $2,000, $3,000 to RCI. And in the days after this irate post of Stan's, Stan repeatedly shared a number of other Instagram posts aimed directly at Abby. On October 20th, he posted 4 separate Instagram posts showing screen grabs from another Instagram account not even connected to Abby. However, Abby, along with more than 50,000 other users, apparently liked this post that was on social media. And the post read, I need a blank that's going to choose me over his family because blood ain't thicker than this fat blank. I mean, kind of a vulgar post, but whatever, to each their own. But Stan screen grabs this post and how Abby had liked it and highlights it. And then he posts that on his social media saying, damn, Abby thought it was family first. But it's like she liked a post that another 55,000 people had also liked on this original post. But to me, it was like, he's watching her every move. He's watching what she likes on social media, where she goes, what she does. He's tracking her. He is obsessed with this woman and calling her out for, if I was getting called out for all the posts that I liked, oh my God, like we all like posts all the time. Hello, you're scrolling and you like it. And this bothered him. And it bothered him so much so that he took a screen grab of it and then posted it and tried to call her out in his caption. It is just so bizarre. Now, in some of these posts that he made where he shows screenshots of their conversations,
I see Missy popped in and said, I was wondering what she was promising him. Definitely a fairy tale. Definitely that they were going to be together, that they were going to have more than just this.
A happily ever ending.
So yes, that was definitely going on during this time period.
Yeah, but it's giving red flags. Did she know that he was posting these things about her?
That part I can't answer because
Okay.
I don't think that any of that posting really started up until he was about ready to unalive her.
Okay. So ladies, if you notice that someone is being overly obsessed with your posts, overly trying to get your attention, it is important to document all these things and report it for your safety. So just to put that out there, because we have to know our surroundings. It's a different world. This wasn't when we were kids, and now all these electronics and social media, we have to be careful. So if you notice these things, and I know some people that are like big time influencers or anything like that, they don't really check their DMs or check their messaging and stuff like that. Or if you receive a package that you don't know where it's coming from, it's automatic a red flag. Especially if you weren't receiving it or wait or knew it was coming to you, don't open it. Take it to the nearest police office just to make sure you're all right.
You can also see on the far left his text history bar where he has other threads of text messages going. And if you read some of these messages, as I did, it looks like he may have been engaging in similar relationships with other women, not just Abby. Just based on kind of, some of the words that I see in there and some of the names, it just got me thinking. So then I decided that I was going to look at his Venmo to see if I could see anything in there, because I was curious, is Abby the only one that he's spending money on? Is Abby the only one that he is entertaining? And sure enough, there were a couple transactions dating back to 2020. And here you can see his Venmo where it shows it. And I think it's safe to say that he was giving money to women in exchange for a relationship or a physical activity, because we all know what that eggplant emoji is. Am I right? We all know what that means. So now, as these officers are looking at the manager's phone of all of these social media posts, Abby's, Stan's, going through all of it, they noticed just a few minutes later that there was a post by Stan just 3 hours prior to Abigail being shot down. And this post appeared to be a screenshot indicating that he had paid Abby $3,000, which he claimed proved his allegations that she was working as an escort. Now, again, why was all of this dirty laundry being aired on social media? I mean, I understand feeling used. I understand feeling angry. But this man, to me, seems a bit unhinged. There were multiple screenshots posted of payments made by Stan to Abby. And let me just show you a couple of these exchanges. So here you can see one from Sunday, July 4th, where he and Abby are speaking, and she says, "Made it. Babe, tonight was amazing. Wish I could have stayed." He says, "Glad you're home safe. You're amazing. Likewise, can I see you next Friday?" "You can. Did I leave my key fob?" This and that. Then saying she found it. "See you again ASAP." And then he says, "I could seriously spend hours between your legs. You are so perfect, both personally and physically." And she responds, "Baby, you are unbelievable. You had me going crazy." Then
It's hard for us to imagine a life with dirty water, so we're going to try this.
So Nisi, not
Imagine for
only
a moment.
was she working in a
Then
club,
again, next month
she
on
was
Friday,
also
August 6th,
escorting.
where she's telling him where to meet her by the sushi place, or by the sauna place, saying, "Give me 20 minutes." And then she's saying, "You only gave me $1,000 yesterday. So that's why I said, are you going to take care of me?" And then he sends her a screenshot saying, "No, I sent you 3,000. There was Zelle plus the Cash App." And she's saying, "Oh, okay, I'll see where it posted." And he says, "Well, if it gets returned, I'll send it to you via Cash App." Like, clearly just sending her money and money and money. And then here again, when we get into Saturday, where she sends the Apple Pay request for 2,000, and he says, "Just awoke from a dream where I was slowly licking between your thighs." Gross. "Dream or reality or both?" And then she says, "Oh my God, dreams really do become reality." And then they continue to talk. Now, what's really interesting though, is there were a couple of other screen grabs that were shared by him where it almost indicates that perhaps Abby owed him money, or that he was asking her to return the money. Because then if you look here, again, back in July, he sends an Apple Pay request for 2,000 and for 1,000. Then again, later in August, another request for 4,000. So could this be him trying to recoup some of his money, or did he send it a different way and then he wanted her to pay back one of the methods of payment? There's just something weird happening here with all of these exchanges. So was he paying for her company? Did he truly believe that he was her boyfriend and that he was spoiling her or helping her out with expenses and bills? Was it a payment for physical relationship? And even more, how did this go from paying for services or gifting your girlfriend funds and to help with bills and expenses, all the way jumping then to murder? The manager provided the police with Stan's phone number so that they could get in touch with him. And when they traced his phone number, it showed that the owner was in fact Stanley Saldana. And I don't think I'm pronouncing that right, guys, but it's spelled Szeliga. Now, the Instagram account with all of those posts that they had previously been looking at were also linked to that phone number. Pretty concrete evidence that Stanley, this Instagram person, they're all the same person. Police learned that Stan owned a Ford F-150, and when reading different license plate readers, it became very evident that Stan was in fact stalking Abby, as she had suspected and confided in her mother just days earlier. Abby wasn't paranoid. She absolutely had a stalker, because over a 12-day period, Stan was near Abby's house at least 5 times. Police then obtained the footage from a traffic camera close to Abby's house, which was about 17 miles from the scene of the shooting, and it picked up his truck multiple times. This footage revealed that Stan's pickup closely followed Abby's vehicle just 17 minutes before that 911 call was made reporting Abby's murder. An additional surveillance footage also showed Stan's car driving past the same spot close to Abby's house on at least 5 other occasions. And officers confirmed with all of this footage and everything they had pulled, he was in fact stalking her. And this alleged stalking ramped up in the days before her murder, with the car captured on footage first on October 13th, which was just the day before she found that tracking device and posted about it on social media on the 14th, then once each on the 23rd, 24th, and 25th of October, which the 25th was the day before Abby was gunned down. Stan's vehicle was spotted driving by her home twice around 1:30 p.m. and again at 3 p.m. So was this all a coincidence? Was she a target? And was Stan essentially stalking his prey, stalking her every move, waiting for an opportunity and a moment to blitz attack? When the detectives contacted Stan, he agreed to meet with them that Wednesday evening. However, he called them 15 minutes before the interview to say that he had a family emergency and that there was a death in the family, but that he would still show up, and agreed to that interview. Was the death that he was referring to, he said he had a death in the family, was that Abby that he was referring to, or was he trying to maybe give an explanation as to why he may be acting odd during that interview or distracted and unable to answer questions thoroughly and quickly? I just wonder why that was an excuse, or was it simply to buy time because he wasn't going to show up to the interview, which those 15 minutes came and went, and Stan never showed up for the interview. After no showing to the meeting, detectives were able to then secure a warrant. So they found Stan's truck close to his apartments and approached his house just before midnight on October 27th. When he refused to come out, the SWAT team took over and executed the warrant. And you can see that in some of this footage here.
Is he trying to jump Macy, or is that the police trying to enter into his apartment?
Stanley was on the balcony and had inflicted wounds to himself during the warrant execution. He was then taken to a hospital with minor injuries and later released to the custody of the Tarrant County Police. He was ultimately charged with Abby's murder and given a bond of $250,000.
Everyone keeps asking me how I do my podcast alone. The answer, Riverside. I get high quality podcast recordings right from my room. And I'm not even using expensive equipment. Watch this. Riverside turns my recording into social clips
skip that F.
automatically.
The arrest affidavit charging Stanley Zaliga with the murder of Abigail Saldana from Wichita Falls alleges predatory behavior and stalking prior to the fatal shooting last week in Fort Worth.
Yeah, authorities were called to Highway 183 last Tuesday, October 26th, about a car going off the road and onto the shoulder. 22-year-old Abigail Saldana, formerly of Wichita Falls, was found dead from gunshot wounds. Detectives say the car was near Rick's Cabaret, where detectives learned that Saldana performed as a dancer. They also learned a customer the manager only knew as Stan, a military veteran, had been harassing Saldana.
The manager also showed detectives a post that Saldana had made on Instagram about finding a tracker they believe the man had attached to her car. The investigation led them to 54-year-old Stanley Zaliga. License plate reader databases showed Zaliga's pickup was near Saldana's apartment several times and also indicated he was following her before the shooting. Fort Worth SWAT officers eventually caught Zaliga at his residence.
Now, what was Stan going to say about this? What was he going to explain as his reasoning or his motive? And we're going to get to that in just a second. But what I want to start with is Abby's mom. Abby's mom has now vowed to face Abby's killer in court. And she says, he took her away from me, and I'm going to make sure every time he has a court date, he will see my face there. He's going to see that Abby was never alone. And she also described her daughter just as a great person, a hard worker, and someone with a lot of love. And remember, she had just a 5-year-old son. And Abby's mom is now saying that her grandson won't grow up with mother, and that her not being here, her son without a mother, is the hardest part of every day.
Abby Saldana was a single mom, a dancer, and she was open she was about to open her own salon. She was just 22 when an obsessed man murdered her. Now her mom, Jessica, is speaking out. Jessica, I can't even formulate the words. Our producer was just briefing me on your entire story, and I know this is so recent. My heart goes to you. Thank you for joining us to talk about Abby. So tell us about your daughter. Why did she move to Fort Worth? Let's start there.
Thank you for having me. She moved to Dallas. She moved back in 2017. She wanted the big city, and she wanted just, more action. She had no fear. So when she decided she was going to move, she did that move, and she made it.
Jessica, so many of us have followed Abby's story on social media. And so we know that when Abby found a GPS tracker on her car, which is alarming, what did she do?
She was shocked. She did report it to the authorities. I just don't know where, what county that happened. And I know that she posted that on Instagram, which was her bravery to put it out there.
My God, that is so scary. People are telling everybody now, I saw check your cars for GPS trackers. That's a real thing now. How were you able to help police in the investigation?
Well, on my end, I'm in the legal field. So whenever I got the call, that all I did was get the call that, this had happened to Abby. So that was all that I knew. I knew nothing else. And because a friend, Abby had taken a picture of the license plate and sent that to a friend. That friend sent it to my son, my oldest son. And that day that I found out what had happened, I immediately went to work. I built the case because of the field that I'm in. A great friend of mine is a private investigator, and we went right into work mode. We researched, pulled up the license plate, all of the information.
Wow.
We pulled up the information on the tracking device, and it was all leading back to the one same individual.
Oh my gosh.
Well, the man in custody said that he had a relationship with Abigail. Is this the first that you heard of it? Did she ever mention him to you?
That's the first that I have heard of this. And of course, all of that is pending investigation. But that's the first that I've heard of any connection.
Just came out of nowhere.
I know. And Jessica, you're so very strong. You already have a lot of missions in place to honor your daughter. Let's start with Abby's Law. Tell us about Abby's Law, please.
Abby's Law is in the works. That's something that I'm working on right now, that I'm drafting, that I'm looking at different avenues of what to do on that. But that is something that I am going to do for the future.
Wow. Can I just ask you to just describe Abby for us and tell us what she was like? I just want to hear what you remember and what you miss.
She was beautiful, inside and out. She was a great mother, a great daughter. She loved her siblings, and she helped everyone. She she helped, and she was a good mom. That's why she left. She wanted she wanted to do better. She was working on her goals. She wanted to get into the eyebrows and the makeup, and she was excited because she had just bought her table to do all of this, and that was her goal, is to get her studio going. And I have no doubt that she wouldn't have done that. She was working on that. She was saving her money for this. She was looking forward to having her business.
I just wanted to ask you, because I just understand.
So I wanted to pause really quick because it's been a few minutes since we've had a little bit of commentary in between. Sister, do you have anything that you want to inquire about?
I think that the next guy is going to ask her mom, did she know about any of her extracurricular activities? And pretty sure not, she didn't know. But still, I know a lot of young girls think easy money and fast money is the best way to go, and it's not. It really isn't. It's not worth your health, your life, and the hardship that comes with these avenues, you know. And I really feel I hate that she felt that she needed to go that route, because she was a beautiful young lady. This is just all sad. This is all sad. All we can keep doing is educating our kids, educating our friends kids to be careful, watch your back, watch your surroundings. And another thing, they had mentioned that she had took a picture of a license plate. When I was in my 20s and I was going out to clubs and bars, I would always send my closest friend that's not going out or doing anything, I would send them the location where I'm going, driver's like my license plate, and just to let them know, like, hey, this is my license plate, this is where I'm going. You know, if you don't hear from me when I say I'm home, just checking in, then call me and make sure I'm okay. So I feel like just having that buddy system is a good thing for women to have as well.
Yeah, I will say from my own personal experience again that this is never something that us young women want to get into. And like Puka said, it's not okay. Like, it's not right. And we shouldn't have to do things like this in order to suffice a living for ourselves or to survive. And unfortunately, it sucks. But I do know a few people who have passed away from this lifestyle, and it's very unfortunate. I every day I'm thankful that I was able to get out, because there are people that don't. There are people that are tied to this lifestyle. I mean, along the way, I've met women that were old enough to be my grandmother, living this lifestyle, that still to this day live this lifestyle. And I'm just thankful. I'm thankful that that wasn't my situation, and that I also was not alongside of some of my family and friends that are now no longer here to, make another memory, live another moment, due to the lifestyle. So I'm gonna go ahead and resume the video now.
One more thing, Nisi. And then in the video a little bit while back, they were saying that he was sending payments not only to her but to the club, and that just had my eyebrow raised, because I did share a story a while back that I worked at a club for like 2 days. I was the worst stripper in the world. But seeing the stuff that goes on in strip clubs and behind the scenes, it sounds like there's a lot of these clubs that are actually engaging in soliciting their clients,
Oh,
their
absolutely.
talent out.
Absolutely, because it brings in more money.
Right.
That's
And
why
that brings like
that's why
an
people
eyebrow raise. I wonder if they investigated
like,
that club she was working at.
if y'all think about it, a lot of like the hot shows, like for example, me and Puka, we both like All the Queensmen. I don't know if any of you other ladies here watch that, but it's kind of like the same concept. There's always some type of catch to that lifestyle, even if it's just presented on television. That stuff be real, y'all.
Right.
In the story, I think that you've done something really amazing in that you got to work immediately. We've covered so many of these cases, and the reason my co-hosts are reacting is we always hear that the police didn't do anything for 3 days or a week or something like that. It seemed like you jumped into action. So please use our platform to talk about mothers, fathers that unfortunately may be in your situation in the future. Would you encourage them to get to work on their own and hope the police come along when they do, but do some of the footwork on your own to get started early?
And that's my concern, that when I got the call, that's the only call that I ever received that morning. And I immediately went into action, but that comes with my background, the field that I'm in. For all the other people out there, I don't know what they do. Do they just sit on standby and just wait for that phone call to see who did this? Or I immediately, I started having family coming over, and I didn't get to be with my family. I was working. I was working, trying to figure out what was going on, what I needed to do to get some answers. And by the end of that night, I received the phone call from the investigator, and we both had the same person.
Wow.
They were doing their work. I did mine on my own, through the help of my friends, and we got it. And the thing about it is to be the voice. Abby's no longer here with us, but her mother's here, and I'm going to be her voice, her advocate, an advocate for other women that are going through this.
Amen. You are fearless. Our thoughts are with you. You're right next to all of our hearts here.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming on here, for having the courage to tell us about Abby's story. We appreciate you.
And I can't even imagine what she must be feeling like, because she's losing her daughter. She's also, now coming in to parent her grandson and have to explain that his mother is never coming back. And was it all because this man thought that Abby was a possession of his? And then when he was losing control, or when he realized that she wasn't into it like he was, he flipped out. Let's talk about it. So Stan hasn't released his true motive for why he killed.
So I'm going to pause really quick just so that I can let you guys know that I would like to kind of have a little bit of an open panel for any of the ladies that would like to join at the end, just for some open dialogue. So once we come near the end of this video, I'll prepare to start dropping that link, because I've only got, I think, one other video that's like 5 minutes, and I might just listen to that one really quick to make sure that that one's not already something that's too regurgitated. But it was specifically Jessica speaking on that one, so I did want to share it, and it's only like 5 minutes long. So
Okay.
and look at him, OMG! It's always old men. Yeah,
I was laughing at that. It beat him once. It beat him once, honey.
Big Mama also said men can be so sick. It's like what is implanted in their brains that makes them so obsessed with actualizing people. Shaking my head. I think that in this, it's unfortunate, but I think that in this lifestyle, we have to accept that we never know who we're meeting with. Whether you're in the club kind of scene, or whether you're on those streets or meeting with these random people for these so-called dates, you don't know who you're meeting with. It could look like your average, normal 9-to-5 working good man that you're meeting with, and they still could get you in that area, and it'd be a whole nother story. Which is why, I do encourage women that are doing this, protect yourself 100%. No,
we are also in no way, shape, or form telling you guys to go out and do any of this
promotion, but I'm going to always advocate and say, for those that do not have a choice, and this is a lifestyle that you have to live for whatever reason, that you are making sure that you are protecting yourself. If you are going to these places and meeting with these people, make sure that you're not just showing up to these places by yourself. I wouldn't be, especially not if I already have that feeling that this is not going to be like, this might not feel right. Again, you don't know who you're meeting with. So definitely.
And please don't be like naive and think that they're going to want to just talk. Because if you're going and leaving an establishment and going to someone's personal home or hotel or motel, whatever you want to call it, don't assume that that's not going to happen to you, because it happens more often than we expect.
And another
So
Don't
Be
talk about
careful.
sometimes a lot of the times that these situations go bad, it's because there are women who go into these situations allegedly that plan to think that they're going to go in here and trick these men too. There's situations where they go in there and think, oh, well, I'm just going to go in here, sit here for a little minute, and then try to run off with the money type situation. And that leads to situations like this as well, where these women end up unalived. It's a mixture of things. Nisi did hold the phone. Right. Well, let me see Lumpy first, and then I'm gonna work my way to Messy Missy. Right, Nisi, they do with them women what they can't with their wives. Exactly.
Oh yeah. Oh,
You better
definitely. And you can't even trust your husband sometimes,
no,
honey.
no. Nisi, did you ever have to deal with smelly men with sweaty balls? Serious question. No, ma'am. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And
That's why I quit dancing because the guy was ugly. I was like, ooh, you look like Lil Jon. Can't do it. No.
no,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, Missy. I'm gonna be honest with you. We can say that some of my situations, a lot of them were hit and runs. I'm not gonna lie about it. I'm gonna be honest. A lot of mine were hit and runs. They weren't actual meets, even though people think that they know every detail of my life. A lot of mine were hit and runs because I didn't know these people. And I already knew that I was in a place where if something was to turn, I was protected. So, yeah, that's my case scenario.
Was it a long-term stint or a short-term thing?
Nah, it was mine was very short term because once I met who I met by accident, I was no longer having to I didn't have to participate anymore. It was more so like I just made a phone call, said what I needed, and I got it.
Okay. But I
So
do want to say that I am so thankful that this is something that you don't ever have to do again. I am so proud of you for seeing your worth and becoming the grown woman that you want to be and the best mom that you can be. I am very proud of you because a lot of women don't get to say that this was their story. This was their testimony. And your testimony is going to be something beautiful because the little time that I've gotten to know you, I know that you have a great heart. And then I know that you are going to have a wonderful transition into your 30s because now you've seen what you had to go through, you overcome that, and you're crushing it. So I just want to say, I am so thankful and I am so proud of you. And don't ever think that anybody can talk down on you because something that you went through, something that you had to go through. We don't know your circumstances. So this is something I just want to say, you know, I'm thankful for you, sis.
I love you. Thank you so much. I'm gonna mute and play the video again before I start crying.
Abby. However, there were messages exchanged between the two of them dating back to July of 2021, just a couple of months before this murder took place. In one screenshot he posted along with some of their messages saying that it was from Abby, she allegedly was telling him that she never even liked him, and he captioned that image, "A woman that can be bought isn't worth having." Okay, well, clearly she was worth it to him if he was paying her thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and if he felt the need that he had to track her whereabouts. Like, obviously he did want this woman. I think he was just saying that to try to make himself feel better. And if you look at the bank statements that he screenshotted, you can see that the money in his account was consistently draining time over time. Every single transaction, that sum was getting depleted. So could he have been running out of money and he knew that Abby wasn't interested in him unless he had money? Did that set him off? Or was he so desperate for a future with Abby and that's what he wanted, that when she said she wasn't into it and that she didn't care about him that way, he felt, well, if I can't have you, no one can. It's just the power and the dynamic between the two. There's so many questions as to what somebody's mental state is during that moment. Because I would imagine if I just step back as an outsider, whether he believes she's his girlfriend or not in real life, I would imagine to some degree believes that she is his property or possession because he is, sending her thousands and thousands of dollars, paying her bills, doing that. He thinks that he has ownership there. So then when she's telling him, I'm not even interested in you, guy, like, you know, it is what it is. You know what it is. It's an arrangement, this and that, whatever it is. I could see where maybe that sets him off if he truly does believe she cared about him. But also then I also could see where even if that wasn't part of the conversation, because again, that text allegedly was from months earlier, if his funds are getting reduced and they're just lowering after every single few thousands that he spent, now it's just like he's got no money left. And that's assuming she was the only person he was entertaining. Imagine if there was money going out to a bunch of women. Then is he in a position where he's like, I can't foot the bill on this relationship anymore. She's not going to be interested in me. Now I'm going to spiral and nobody can have her. I feel like there's so many different ways that a person like that could be thinking, but I still can't figure out how out of all of those different pathways of whatever you're thinking the situation is, how it leads you to the road of murder, unless you are just truly that enraged and you feel that used and you feel just so angry. But no matter how angry a person is, I would imagine at some point he did care about her. Maybe not, maybe it was surface level, maybe it was all physical, but still, then to selfishly not only take somebody's life, but to take somebody's life who is a mother of a 5-year-old because you're pissed. I mean, yes, is it right? Some of these women who, are.
I'm going to pause her there for a second to say that I don't believe that to be 100% true, the statement that she's going to make right now, in my personal opinion, because he may not have even known all of those details as far as her having a child and all of that stuff, because a lot of times women try to separate this from their personal life. So I'm going to say allegedly, if this was Abby's case, that I'm almost positive, knowing her and how her brain works and how protective I'm sure she was of family, especially her own son, I highly doubt that this man knew anything as to her personal life to that extent.
And I wanted to touch on the fact that when she showed his Venmo, girl, these people, they can track all your stuff. I don't even know. But when they showed her his Venmo, he wasn't just sending money to Abby. He was sending money to other women as well. So it had to be a point about him exhausting all his funds. Like he spent all his money, now he mad. You already knew what was, what goes along with this, because you're not only sending her money, but you're also sending other women money. But he might have been upset because he spent the most with her, thinking that he was going to have something different. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I do agree that's quite valid. Just to let me girl said, very proud of you, Niecy, and it takes a real woman to own her shit. Yeah, I'm not in denial. I mean, I lived the lifestyle. I had some hit and runs. I had some ones where I had to make it do what it do. I've never going to. I think I've had worse things happen in this life that for me, it's just like, why do I need to feel shamed or feel like I'm supposed to be subjected to another person's judgment when at the end of the day, they weren't the one in those rooms. I was. Anyhow, I'm going to keep playing. And then here soon, I'll go ahead and drop that link for the ladies that want to have some open commentary.
Take money from men or push the boundaries. I don't know. It's a gray area to me. I think it just depends on the situation. But at the same time, as a man or as a woman, if you're giving the money, if you're footing the bill, and if you're sending money, like, the writing is on the wall, guys. You know what you're getting into. So how are you going to then act surprised if the money dries up and they're no longer interested, if that's what the entire basis of the relationship is, which clearly from all of these text messages and all these screenshots, you can see that was the root of their relationship. She would ask him for money. He would send money. And so it's like, how are you going to be surprised then when that factor goes away, that the relationship goes away? So then to be so selfish to take their life and take the life of somebody's mother, it's just beyond. What are your guys' thoughts on this case? Because it gets a little bit tricky and it gets a little sticky, doesn't it? Because it's like, at what point are the women using these men and they retaliate, not saying it's justified ever, but like also it's like, hello, I feel like it's so standard these days, and it's like out there in such a commercial way almost now, that how are you going to act surprised? You kind of know what you're getting yourself into, especially if he was doing this with other women, which through his Venmo history and his texting history, it definitely appears he was. Like, what do you mean, guy? Like, you know what you're doing. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. In any event, no matter what the reason, it's just horrible. It's a tragedy. Abby was 22 years old. She has a 5-year-old son. She's a beautiful girl. And now her life has been drastically cut short because of greed, because of his possession and power and jealousy. It's just awful. And I feel like there's so many people, again, who are doing this nowadays because it's like so common and commercial. I even have, I have a handful of friends who escort whatever, it's a thing, it's out there, and no judgment, zero judgment, but it's like, it's such a thing out there. So at what point do you have to make sure that you are safeguarding yourself somehow and making sure that you don't cross a line or a boundary to where you're going to anger the other party, to where everybody's aware of what that working relationship, everybody knows what the rules are and what the expectations are. Like, at what point do you have to make sure that you don't cross a line to where somebody thinks it's something else and then a tragedy like this happens? I know that case was a lot to take in. It's so scary. It is so unsettling. And it just really makes you wonder, who are we really dating? Who are we married to? Who are we in relationships with? And like I said, I hope that if anything else, if it just serves as an educational topic, and you never know who's going through something like that. And look, she did everything right. She made videos about it. She spoke out, and it still wasn't enough. So
Okay, I went ahead and stopped sharing that video so we can get on to the last one, and then we'll be done because that one's only 5 minutes. If you guys have any commentary y'all want to include, y'all can include it now.
Okay. I have a question. So when you see people on the internet and they're sharing their stories, do you think it's something as they're giving you like just story time fun, kikiing, or they're trying to recruit other people to join them in doing this stuff? Or is it both?
I'm gonna say that when I chose, I damn sure was not on any of these social media platforms promoting it, doing the get ready with me's, doing the actual like footage of me up and down the street, or none of that. So I'm gonna say I feel that it is a mix of both. There's definitely a part of that community that is 100% promoting it to other women. That's my opinion. And I believe that there is also a percentage that truly just want to share their journey and their choice of lifestyle. And that's fine too. But I do believe that goes both ways, especially for the ones that flaunt their money. I just feel like the moment that you start including your money in these conversations or these videos and stuff, to me, that is promotion. You are showing off your cash to prove to people, hey, I'm doing this and this is how much I can make doing it.
Yeah, because you gotta look at today's day and age. We were like very private in my early 20s. We barely started getting cell phones. Our cell phones was garbage. We was on MySpace, so those pictures were garbage. We weren't recording and keeping a record of what we were doing outside. But these people nowadays, honey child, they letting you know where they busting it wide open at, where where latest hot spot is. I mean, I follow someone who's a trans person, and I do know that a lot of trans women are in this lifestyle, and a lot of trans women also lose their lives to this lifestyle. And one of the people that I followed, this is something that she chose to do. It's not something that she needs to do, but this is something that she chose to do because I want to say it was out of depression, but that's her story to tell, not my story. But I don't love her less. I just always make sure I tell her, check in with me, sis. You okay, sis? Make sure you protect yourself, sis. It's not my place to judge you because that's not my life. That's not my story. Everybody's testimony is different. But I don't know why these girls don't seem to, and it seems like they're getting younger and younger and younger. Like, I gotta say, just protect yourself, sis. Like, please be careful. Please send me an addy or take a picture of the person so that way for my safety. I mean, that's how I am with my friends. I don't know how other people roll, but I'm not gonna judge you for what you do. But for me, have a peace of mind because I love you and we have a relationship. Please just let me know that you're okay, that you make it to your destination safely and you're home safely. Because a lot of people don't have that family support or friend support to reach on or lean on to. Yeah, what she says, Missy, from what I've heard, a lot of straight men love to. Oh, honey, they do, honey. And she will tell you that. My transparent will tell you the husbands are the ones. I ask my husband all the time. You can ask him. I don't give two damns. What you doing? What you like? But let's go into this video that Nisi has, and then we'll go, we'll talk about it a little bit more after the video.
We are back hearing cautionary stories about people who were targeted and even stalked in ways they never expected, like Abby Saldana. That's a 22-year-old you just heard in that video. She shared that video recently that we saw of her finding that magnetic tracker beneath her car. 12 days later, she was found shot to death while driving in Fort Worth, Texas. Police say the man charged with her murder, Stanley Zaliga, had been stalking and harassing her. Abby's mother, Jessica Contreras, joins us from Wichita Falls, Texas, to talk about her beautiful daughter, her life, and what led to this discovery. Obviously, Jessica, first, my thoughts and my prayers are with you and your family. Abby was a loving daughter, a dedicated mother. She was working towards starting her own business. How are you and your grandson holding up right now?
Every day is a struggle. It's hard. It's hard. Reality has hit that I no longer have Abby here. And it's very, very difficult. Mornings are difficult for me.
Because you are having to wake up to the reality.
Waking up to the reality that Abby is no longer with us, that her 5-year-old son that's about to be 6 years old, she's not going to be here to celebrate his birthday. Abby's birthday is coming up as well. And it's been hard.
When Abby told you that she found that tracking device on her car, what did you think? What did she say was the behind the scenes story? Did she suspect who it was? Help me understand what you knew.
When Abby had mentioned about the tracking device, I knew automatically an instant that because of my me being a paralegal, I knew that it's not a good sign when you see something like that or when someone has a device on you. And I immediately told her, you have to report it immediately. It's never a good sign. And at that moment, she never disclosed that with me that she knew who it was or what was going on behind, I don't know. I mean,
my heart breaks.
Went to her apartment. She had her car manual where she was looking through the car manual to see if that device was a part of the vehicle.
And it turns out it wasn't. It was her worst fear. It was this tracking device. You mentioned you're a paralegal. You are skilled at researching. After her death, in the midst of your grieving, I know that you dedicated your time to try to figure out what happened there and solve her case. What was a key part that led to this arrest and this individual being charged?
The day that I received the phone call from the medical examiner's office, they had talked to me to tell me that they had found Abby. She had been shot and that it was a homicide. I immediately, that day, I sat in my car and prayed. That's all I could do is pray at that moment. I think at that moment, as a parent, when you get the worst call ever, you have that choice. Do I want to be angry, bitter, or do I go into this prayer mode? And I did that. And when I went home to my parents and where my family was at, I later received the news that Abby had taken a picture of the license plate number and had given it to a friend. And when that was in my hands, I immediately took action. And with help from a friend that's a private investigator, we were able to get the information that we needed. And then from the tracking device as well, the serial number, everything led up to that same individual.
We reached out to the attorney for the man charged with Abby's murder. His name is Stanley Zaliga, that individual, and we were told that they have no comment at this time. As I said, my heart goes out to you, Jessica, looking at these details, knowing that without her knowledge, someone was tracking her moves and had used that device. Had she not discovered it, perhaps someone would not be charged. It's just so complicated to resolve these feelings from the outside watching this. So I can't imagine what it's like for you.
It's hard. I wish that she would have told me sooner. I just, the tracking device, she did, she posted that. And I think that's the key, is putting it out there.
Okay, guys, that's the end of my screen sharing of the videos. I'm going to strictly go live on my phone. I have dropped the link if anyone wanted to come up. If not, we're just going to have some open commentary with you guys from the comments and just have some comment interaction for a little bit.
Feminine Affairs says, I can't imagine losing a child by someone's hand. Losing a child is hard enough, but someone else of being, let me see. Someone else being responsible. I don't know how I could live with that. That's Feminine Affairs, Connie. This is how I feel too. And me and Niecy was having this conversation about our kids because she has younger kids and I have a younger one myself, but I have two adult children now that are 19 and 20. My daughter is out in Texas by herself with her girlfriend. And she's still so young-minded. She's still such a baby. And yes, she's hard-headed. Yes, she thinks she knows everything. And we have to tell her, like, you don't say you know, because you ain't lived this life before. You have not lived this life. You lived the life as a child, but we've been on this earth for 40 years and we've been through some shit. So when we're telling you something or we're explaining it to you, we're not talking at you. We're talking to you so that you can understand, like, hey, do I want to do it the hard way? Or my mama and daddy just told us the easy way to do it. So I ain't got to struggle. I ain't got to stress. But sometimes kids need to learn on their own. And that's the parents' worst fear. I mean, I got tracking locations on everybody. And if you out of signal, you out of bounds, you out of range, I'm calling you. Hey, what's wrong with the tracker? What's wrong with the family circle? Like, I can't see you. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just want to make sure they get to their destination safely and they get home safely. Because you never know in this day and age what people are thinking. There's a lot of sickos out there. And my baby, she's 20, but she looks like she's a middle schooler. You know what I mean? So that worries me a lot. Like, I don't want nobody to take advantage of her. I don't want somebody to coerce her into something that she can't, she can't get out of. That's the one thing a parent has to feel. We have to let them be adults. We have to let them live their lives. But at least we can talk to them, have those conversations with them, and let them know, like, hey, it's okay to come to me. It's okay to talk to me because you are an adult. Don't be afraid to come to me and say anything because whether I'm not going to approve of it, it's still your life. And the best way I can tell you to help you is just to understand where you're coming from, to give you words of wisdom, to give you advice, and just to let you know that I'm here for you, especially with young kids.
In my situation, this was not, I mean, I've never really had a relationship really with my parents. But this was definitely not a conversation that I would have been willing to have with them while I was doing it. Of course, now that I am older and time has went by since then, it's something that they know about. But I'm almost positive that during me living it, I don't think that I would have been able to like bravely tell my parents like, "Hey, yeah, this is what I'm doing now."
Yeah, like I told you before, I didn't tell my parents until my 30s. I didn't tell my parents that I was sexually assaulted. The only way I had to tell them that that happened to me is because the person who assaulted me was released from prison and showed up at my parents' house. My parents had lived there for my entire life up until like the last 5 years. But he showed up there looking for me because this happened when we were teenagers. And my dad was going to give my phone number out to them. But my mom called first and was like, hey, someone's at the house asking to get your number. And I'm just like, who is that? And so when they told me, I was just like, what the fuck? So I had to not even just, I had to tell my second husband, my husband now. I had to tell my mom. She told my dad. And that was traumatic enough to have to relive what happened to me as a teen, but also talk to my parents and let my parents know, hey, yes, I held this in because I was scared to come to you because you guys were so strict. You guys had this rule: don't let nobody in my house, to open my doors for anybody, be in by the street lights, So I was afraid to tell my parents that, yes, I was insulted in our family home by someone who I thought was a friend as a child, as a teenager. And I had to carry that until now. And now, after therapy and, medicine, now I have to relive this because this person came to you guys. And now I had to, you know, talk about it. And I also had to talk to my daughter about it because I had to let her know, like, it's not okay that I had to hold this in for my mom or my dad. It's not okay. That's on me because I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel safe because I thought they were going to look at me differently. But I had to let my daughter know that whatever you go through, I'm not going to look at you in disgust, in disappointment. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to do any of that. My thing is, I want you to be comfortable enough to come to me and say, hey, mom, this is what I'm going through, and let you know that you're going to have a listening, supportive ear out of me, you know? Nisi?
Yes, I was reposting the link really quick, which is why I didn't click the unmute quick enough.
Okay.
But yeah, guys, I think the overall gist that I'm getting from this is that I feel like women need to be a safety net for other women. And like in the most purest, most genuine way, because in all reality, us women get way more down to nitty gritty a lot of times when it comes to things. And we should be a safe space for each other to be able to have these conversations and let each other know that it is okay to, because let me tell y'all something. Seeing people like cases like this, right, where Abby was being tracked by this man, right? He's placing devices on her car. I have always, because I've always had to live on my own and figure it out on my own all these years of my life, I have always said it makes me cringe when I hear families talk about, because when I lived with my foster mom, they all had each other's location. Like all of her kids' locations, she had them, they had hers, a mama, everybody. And I would look at them and I'm like, y'all are weird And please do not ever ask me for my location because I'm not giving it to you. Because I'm so used to having to figure it out, right? And do for myself that to me, that's you being in my business.
And
But
Niecy does
let's
that all the
say
time. And
if
I tell her, I don't give a damn. You go tell me where the fuck you going because I need to know that you're okay.
yeah, because she knows I will get an attitude quick when she gets to asking me. I still do it with Puka. It's something I
And
still
I don't give a
work on.
damn. I don't give a
I'll
damn
get
if she
an attitude.
scream, bitch,
Where
fuck
are you
you. I
going?
don't care.
Where are the
I don't
kids going?
care. I don't
I'll
care.
be like, please get about my business. Like you're
I don't
asking me
care. I don't care. I am that friend. I want to know that you're safe.
to.
Okay?
But
Okay.
honestly, seeing things like this makes me realize the wider aspect of like why location sharing when you're not up close and personal with some of your loved ones is important. You know, heck, I just bought my own kid a phone not too long ago, and you best believe his location is attached to mine, and I will know every which way he moves with his device. Um, and I guess for me it's just opening up a broader aspect of like why these things are important. It's not necessarily to be in your business, it's to make sure if something happens to you, we know where you're at, we know that we can get to you, we can, there's things that we can do when we know, aside from when we don't know.
Hmm. Let's go to the comments.
Yeah,
I
Sheena,
was
something.
at, I never said anything to anyone ever until now. You know what, Montoya? I'm glad you feel safe enough. I'm glad you feel safe enough because it's not an easy conversation. It really isn't. And a lot of people don't come out and say it at all. Some people carry it till the grave, you know, and it's okay to seek help because I didn't think that it was bothering me until I told my mom. You know, I didn't think that I the way I was because of the outcome of what happened. I didn't think that had affected my life in any kind of way, but it does. It's my tough exterior. It's my I don't give a fuck attitude. It's don't touch me, don't look at me, the non-infection. Like that plays a lot in that.
Absolutely.
And I hope that you feel comfortable enough to either talk to somebody else or talk to a loved one. If you don't, you can always come to us. Baby, there ain't no judgment over here. We grown folks over here.
Okay, period. And since Puka touched on it, Puka was just talking about one side of it where you do lose that lack of interest of like wanting to, be touched and things like that. And then there's the side of it where you become, overly active and you're overly participating in activities due to being touched inappropriately. And again, that is also something that if you are struggling in that area and you haven't seek the right professional help for that, definitely do find you a safety net. If it's not going to that professional help, you need to be those are conversations that need to be had because I don't think people take being hyperactual seriously at all. And I can tell you that from my own experience as a young child, having someone touch me inappropriately, it absolutely made me very hyperactual at a very young age. Curious, experimenting, and things like that. So it can go either or way, and whichever way it does go or has gone for anyone, definitely seek some type of guidance with that because it can cause problems, whether it's simply just for you and your safety and protection of yourself, or even for partners within your future. Because if you're overly active, maybe that can make your partner feel some type of way if maybe they're not. Or, if you're not active at all and you don't even want to engage in these activities because of things that have happened to you, that may cause some conflicts within your relationship. So definitely reach out, guys, definitely reach out.
Yeah, and it's all about having family doesn't have to be your safety net. It could be just a trusted group of friends and that you meet along the way that you feel that you are comfortable and that you can, engage in these type of conversations with because these are heavy topics and heavy conversations. And I know most people don't like to speak with it, but as women, especially in this administration, they're trying to take our rights. They're trying to take our voices. So the most we can do with our platform is share that, hey, this is a safety sister circle, because we have to advocate for ourselves, because men don't take it seriously, and some men are abused too. Let's not get it wrong. Some men live this lifestyle
Absolutely.
as escorts and 304s. It's a
Absolutely.
lot of men who do this work. A lot of men. And the one thing they did talk about in the Diddy case was he was soliciting men, not women. He was soliciting men from these websites to engage in, to watch, to be a voyeur in a corner and watch them interact with his partners. So, the pimping and pandering charges, those go hand in hand with each other. And and they do take it easy on the first time around with ladies of the night or gentlemen of the night. They do take it easy. You will get a misdemeanor file. I do see that if you keep getting charged with it, that sentence can carry up to 2 years, but it varies across different states. But it's not just women that are affected, it's men. And you have to have this talk with I'm a boy mom. I have my bonus daughter. I don't like to call her that. I like to call her my baby, from her surrogate. But
I knew you were finna. I just knew you were finna cut a.
what?
I knew.
That's
I
my
knew.
baby. I raised her. But I do have to talk to my boys too, because I had to move my son his senior year because a girl was taking advantage of him. First girlfriend ever was taking advantage of, lying, saying that, certain stuff. And I had to let him know, like, women can ruin your life just as well as men can ruin women's lives. And I had to, introduce the condoms early. These are things that I had to let him take him to the doctor, let him know, like, you're a man. Men don't like to go to the doctor, but you gonna go to the doctor. We had to have these educational talks with our kids early because things were happening early. Like, looking back, it's like, okay, when did I start? Oh, okay, that was early. That was in high school. Okay, then I need to talk to my kids, because you can get pregnant early. I mean, it happens, you know? So this conversation, have it with both of your kids. Protection wise, let them know it's okay to just, give them that education so that they are aware and keep talking about it over the years.
And even when they're little, you can definitely give little kids education on, oh, you don't touch me there. Um, they should definitely know what their no spots are. I think that is absolutely important, especially with our kiddos like mine. I have kids with unique abilities. It's very important for them to know, what's inappropriate for someone to touch on their body. Because a lot of these kids don't. And this is how these inappropriate things end up happening. And these kids don't feel safe enough because they're scared of maybe the person that is pursuing these things against them feeling comfortable enough to tell someone.
Yeah. Hmm.
And
Yeah,
I
I
I wanted to
watch
touch
Soft
on
White Underbelly a
Lumbie's
lot.
content or comment because Lumbie had stated sometimes parents don't believe you. Mine didn't, even after doctors proved I had been. And Lumbie, I want to say that I'm giving you the biggest virtual hug right now because in my situation specifically, it wasn't necessarily that my parents didn't believe me. It was more so that, yes, it was more so that they allowed, it was a rank above rank situation. Okay. The, my perpetrator's dad just so happened to outrank my dad. They were in the military. And unfortunately, when this was seen in court, they hurried up and disputed it, even though I was like, what 4 year old is going to tell you all these details of how they've been violated and it not be true? Let's just be honest. But unfortunately, because they didn't want to have to disbar that girl's father, they basically tried to brush it under the rug. And my stepdad was advised not to continue trying to pursue that case.
I'm
So
sorry about that.
even though it was heard through my parents, it wasn't really heard because they laid down instead of standing up. And you should always stand tall for your children, no matter the predicament And I want to not only touch on cases like this, but I also want to talk about, and Puka, you let me know how you feel about this, because I feel like we could do some true crime on even just family or relationship, domestic kind of disputes as well. Because even within that, like the family disputes, a lot of times when there is physical or actual things happening within the family, those things are brushed under the rug by relatives and people within that circle as well. And, nothing
Right.
comes to the light until something has happened just as well.
Right. Let's normalize reporting the creepy person in the family. And everybody know who the creepy person is. I'm pretty sure somebody got somebody in their family member that is creepy. And no one says anything. They brush it under the line, they talk about it behind closed doors. Less or like normalize reporting their ass. You know? Let's just break the cycle, because we don't want people to be like, we don't want it to be passed down from generation to generation, generation. Oh, we can't bring our kid here because so and so over there. We can't bring our kid here because so and so there. Like, let's just normalize, reporting and get and stop inviting that person.
Is the soft white underbelly something? Is that a channel?
Yeah, he's a YouTube channel,
Okay,
and he touches on
he does
the
TV.
ladies of the night, the
Yeah,
men
I
on the
thought.
street, and the family who just got what's that family called? They're inbred, the inbred family.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You guys know, I love them. I hate that YouTubers came and destroyed their little home and stuff like that. But yeah, the soft white underbelly, he's the one that did photography for them. And he has a platform on there where he talks about, I mean, you can find good cases with them, because he does meet up with these people that, are ladies of the night or men of the night. And he does like a recap, like, where have you been? What have you been up to? So he has a few stories like that on his platform that I think you would like.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out, because I have seen a few. That's why I was like, I could have swore that was a channel. I've seen a few. And the sad thing is, my dad knew his brother has messed with his sisters growing up and still let him mess with me. Oh my God, that's terrible.
I'm so
Yeah,
sorry,
well,
Lumby.
Lumby, I am so apologetic that that happened to you. But we are definitely gonna have to
And
I
make
want to
sure
dip
you
into
speak
those
with
topics
somebody,
too.
because that's a lot of trauma to hold in. So make sure you try to see like a doctor or somebody that you can that you feel comfortable with, because holding in that trauma, it can make you sick as well.
And I'm also going to include with what Puka just said, that for some of us, like for me, um, a lot of people don't understand, because I have openly expressed on the internet that for me, therapy and stuff just is not my route. Therapy or medication management is not my route, because I was forced for so many years to do therapy. And it did start after I was touched, because I started acting out. And unfortunately, it was more so people not understanding that for me, I needed that justice. I needed that clarity of, this person's not ever going to be able to do that to someone else again. And I didn't get it.
Mhm.
So for me, therapy just isn't the route, because I had already been shown at a young age that when I open up and express something's happened to me, that I'm not going to be heard. So along the way, for me, my safety net, or like my therapy, is my friends like Puka. If something's wrong with me, genuinely wrong, I'm going to reach out to her, because that's my safety net. That's my person whenever I'm feeling my lowest, that I can call and confide in. So even if it's not a therapist, always have that safe person in your life, because
Mhm.
that really is important.
Right. And there's also meetings, like, there's not just Alcohol Anonymous. It's just not just NA, AA. There's also meetings for people who's lost a child through the violence. Who there's groups or people who lost people. There's grievancy ones, trauma. There are other circles that most of them, it's like a prayer base, but it's just saying we're praying to like a higher power, whatever your higher power is, because not everybody prays to God. So as long as you seek like a higher power in there, there are groups that can help you. And it's just like small little groups. When I was a drug and alcohol counselor, I had a small group. I was an outpatient facility that I ran in San Bernardino. So it was mostly people that was drug and alcohol or work based. But in our groups, we also talked about traumas that led to these offenses or led to these, disorders and stuff like that. So, you can always reach out to support groups. There's many support groups on these social media platforms. On Facebook, I'm in a bunch of support groups for endometriosis and moms with younger kids, and just people that I can reach out in case I'm having a hard day, you know?
Missy says my mother's father M'd her for years. She told her mom, and only thing she did was not leave him alone with her, but she kept him in the home. And that's very unfortunate. But a lot of times that's why I said we do need to touch on this topic, because it is a real thing, where families choose to keep quiet or turn their cheek or their, to what's going on, and it's unfortunate. So I definitely will be getting some things together for that as well, because again, that can go for any form of, abuse. They can very well happen within homes, as well as it happens within just the community or just life in general.
Right. And I think that a lot of people are outraged by some of the content that some people are putting out on the internet because they're making light of it. They're making light of dangerous situations. They're making light of putting children in harm's way, like Queen Op. Um, they're just making dangerous situations. And then you find a group of people that, everybody loves their mess, everybody loves their tea, because, I love me a cup of tea too, But
Period.
certain things are not supposed to be funny. It's traumatizing to a lot of people because a lot of people experience these things in life, you know? And then you never know. They don't say trigger warning. They think it's fun. But they don't realize that they're inflicting trauma on their family and friends, and they're sharing it across a big giant worldwide web, you know, and anybody can just walk in there and be left with trauma that they thought that they had buried deep inside them, and then that's where a lot of the hate comes from, because you've seen them do something that you experienced in life, but you never dealt with. So now you have this anger again, and you don't know how to express it because this person is coming online saying, "Hey, I'm doing this," and flashing money, or they're doing this to this kid or doing this to that kid, or you know, it's sad. I mean, everybody needs some kind of safety net nowadays. I mean, what you gonna say? Go back to the old days and just not have social media, not have a phone? That's unrealistic. But if you guys ever need to talk, you guys can always reach out to me and EC, and we're not gonna judge you. Like, we grown over here. Like, we can have a good conversation. And if you want to have a little tea, a little mess, we can do that too. But there's a healthy balance in each one. No, sir.
All right. See, well, I see that Patricia has come in. Hello, Patricia.
Hi,
You guys, this
Patricia.
live has been amazing. I am so glad that everybody came. This is our first live here together officially, and we have kept a decent room of 20 people in here. So I guess that y'all enjoyed the content. For those who are just now coming in or are going to play later, make sure that y'all hit that hashtag replay for us. We appreciate y'all, and just stay tuned, because since we know y'all like it here, we gonna make sure we keep coming out with some good content, some grown woman content. Y'all see Nisi kept her little filter on today. I really didn't cuss or anything. Like, I was good. I was good today.
I'm always the one. I be working on it though. I be working on it. I'm always the one that got something to slip through. I'm working on it though. God knows me. He knows my mouth and my spirit and my soul. Hallelujah, Jesus. But
But
yeah,
yes,
I'm
thank
working
y'all
on
so
it.
It was fun. It was very interactive. Love y'all. Y'all have a great night. Peace out. Bye.
Toodles.
Ooh.